Hey guys, I'm Joe, and today I'm going to be making strawberries two ways. So strawberries are one of my favorite berries, but I only like to eat them raw. So I don't cook with them or make cakes out of them, or I don't even like strawberry jam, but I do love these two desserts that I'm going to show you today. So the first one is called Eton Mess. It's a dessert with whipped cream, meringue, and strawberries all mixed together in a parfait glass. And the second one is a strawberry bruschetta. So basically ricotta spread onto toasted bread with a topping of strawberries. Basically, I macerate the strawberries in either a little bit of sugar or a little bit of honey, tiny bit of vinegar. You could also use lemon juice, and this brings out the strawberry flavor even more. And once you've got this awesome strawberry mixture, you can use that in different ways. So let's get started on these two unique strawberry recipes. So for this recipe, I have 2 pounds of strawberries that I've already washed. I'm just going to hull them and slice them up and add them to this bowl, and then we'll start the maceration process with a tiny bit of vinegar and honey. So when I was a kid, we used to go strawberry picking at least once or twice every summer. There's this farm in Connecticut called Jones Family Farm, and they have strawberry fields, also Christmas tree fields, pumpkin fields. I think we spent so many different occasions there, but the strawberry picking was the most fun for me because I got to eat as many strawberries as I wanted. Sometimes they try to discourage children from eating all the strawberries, so they tell them that if they eat too much, they'll get a tummy ache. But I ate as many strawberries as I liked, and I didn't feel a thing. But besides that, we always would come back with a huge basket full of strawberries. And of course, freshly picked strawberries are amazing because they're just so juicy and so ripe. It's something that you don't really find in the supermarket strawberries. But for this recipe, since the strawberries are going to be macerated, it almost doesn't matter if they're not farm fresh. They could be from the supermarket. No one's really going to notice. It's going to be just as tasty. So I'm cutting the strawberries up into 1/4-inch slices. I'm just going to use the granny mode because this is quicker. I like slicing them lengthwise because you get this little heart shape. So I've sliced up all the strawberries, and now we're going to macerate them. So basically maceration is the opposite of marination. Instead of drawing liquid into a meat, for example with marination, with maceration we want to draw the liquid out. So in this case with the strawberries, I'm going to be adding something sweet like sugar or honey, and just a little bit of acidity, in this case vinegar, which is my favorite with strawberries, but you could also use lemon juice. So I would say with the honey you want like a couple of tablespoons, really depending on how sweet your strawberries are, so you can decide. And then with the vinegar, you really just want like a splash, so like that should be enough. And now for a little bit of interest, I'm going to add some ground pepper. You might think I'm crazy, but it actually brings out the strawberry flavor. And I'm just going to give it a good toss. So I like to let this macerate in the fridge because you're giving it a chance to absorb the different flavors, the acidity from the vinegar and the sweetness from the honey. And you'll see just how much liquid comes out of the strawberries. So with Eton Mess, our first strawberry dessert, whipped cream plays an important part. It unites the strawberries and the meringue. And it also makes the meringue a little softer. And when the meringue absorbs some of the whipped cream, some of the juice from the strawberries, you have this really amazing texture and flavor. So for the whipped cream, I have a good 30% fat heavy cream. I have superfine sugar, or powdered sugar works just as well. And I have vanilla bean paste, which is really nice because you see the specks of vanilla through the whipped cream. And I'm adding the heavy cream. And I'm going to add some sugar. And a little bit of the vanilla bean paste. So about like a teaspoon. And now we're going to whip. You can also do this in a machine, which would be faster. I find that the easiest way to whip cream is just to go back and forth, so you don't have to do like figure eights and things like that. You're agitating the cream so that the fat molecules, they form this nice whipped texture. And since it's kind of loosey-goosey right now, this is a good time to give it a taste, see if it needs a little bit more sugar or vanilla. Could use some more sugar. And you see, we're almost there. You could actually leave it nice and creamy like this, but I like it a little stiffer. I mean, you don't want to make it into butter at this point, but actually, I think we're doing pretty good. So you see, whipped cream, it has a nice stiffness, it holds. So this is what you're looking for. So, since we're doing two desserts, one of them is the strawberry bruschetta, which will go on to our nice baguette, which I'll slice up and toast. And then the Eton Mess has meringue that's mixed into the whipped cream. So here in Hungary, I was able to find this gigantic strawberry meringue, but here they're called hubcsok, which means a foamy kiss. So it's more interesting than calling it a meringue. But for this Eton Mess dessert, I'm going to take this beautiful meringue and crush it up. So it's going to be a great way to relieve some stress, but I'll also destroy this beautiful object. But hey, it's all in the name of food. I'm going to slice up this baguette. I'm going to do it at an angle so I can get more surface area to put the toppings on. For the sake of example, I'm going to put 4 in the toaster. And now here comes the fun part. I have the bag that I was storing the meringue in, and I'm just going to add it back to it. And, I don't know, should I just punch it? Okay, let's go for it. I always wanted to be a boxer, so here's my chance. And you can see with the meringue, the inside is like a little bit marshmallowy, which is one of my favorite things about it. So once the meringue is mixed with the strawberries and the cream, it's going to be really enticing, because it's going to absorb all the different flavors from the cream, the liquid from the macerated strawberries, and it's going to have this really unique texture. Oh, and the toast just popped out. So let's get started on putting together our two desserts. Okay, so we have our toasted bread for the strawberry bruschetta, we have our whipped cream for the Eton Mess, and then we have our macerated strawberries for both. So let me show you how much liquid the strawberries have released since they've been in the fridge for about 15 minutes. You could even leave them a little longer, but I think this is a good point where it looks a little bit syrupy, just like that. So with the whipped cream, I'm going to fold some of the meringue into it. Okay, so as you can see, it looks really pretty. So now I'm going to fold in the meringue and crush it around a little bit too. And since the meringue is so sweet itself, that's going to make the cream even sweeter. So that was one reason why I kind of held back on adding too much sugar to the whipped cream, because it'll all be sweet enough. So I'm going to start by putting some strawberries in the bottom of this glass. And to make it look pretty from the outside, you can also stand up some of the strawberry slices on the side, so then you can see it once it's going to be layered. Okay, and now some cream. Okay. Maybe add a little bit of the gooey bit into the center. So you've got this like really, really gooey inside of the meringue, which is delicious. So I'm going to add this gooey bit to the center. Right there. I'll save this for the next layer. More strawberries. And the cream. Add some more of the gooey stuff to the center. Cover it with cream so that it's a little bit of a surprise. And we could even add a few strawberry slices to the top just for decoration, some of the pretty heart-shaped ones. And I'm going to add just a little bit of mint to the top. So that's our strawberry Eton Mess. And for the strawberry bruschetta, I have my toasted baguette. I have some wonderful ricotta. So I'm just using the ricotta straight as it is. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a mix so it's creamier. And give it a nice schmear. Oops. Adding the strawberries to the top. And to make this a little bit more Italian, I'm going to add some basil to the top and even a drizzle of olive oil. And I'm going to put this onto my plate over here. So I'm really excited to try both of these desserts. Strawberries, like I said, are one of my favorite berries, and I love them raw. And I think this combination of strawberries and cream or strawberries and ricotta is just really unique and probably one of the best combinations. So before further ado, I'm going to go in. Which one should it be? Maybe the bruschetta first? Let's try that one. Cheers. The ricotta is a very good quality ricotta. The basil adds this really unique flavor to the strawberries. I think strawberries and basil is probably my favorite herbal pairing over mint. And honestly, this is the kind of dish that you could also serve as an appetizer. It's really not super sweet. It's just really delicate and flavorful. while the bruschetta is nice and mellow and not so sweet, it can also work as an appetizer. But the Eton Mess, because of the sweetness of the meringue, this is really going to be your dessert. So let's dig into this beauty. That meringue, it's like this cloud of sweetness. I got one of the chewy bits of meringue, and that is so nice. It's like a little marshmallow. Okay, this is the big bite, but I'm excited for it. And you notice I'm using a big tablespoon for this. I just want all of it. So whether you decide to do the Eton Mess, because you're more of a sweet tooth, or you like the savory taste of strawberries with the strawberry bruschetta, I think you'll be pleased. So let me know what you think about these desserts in the comments, and please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.